So the Zeitgeist 1980 Kickstarter has ended, and we fell short of our goal by around $1,000, which isn't bad. I mean, we got over halfway there, but we just couldn't, make it across the finish line. I'll be doing a full kind of post-mortem retrospective of why the campaign failed the way it did later, but for now, my guess is that I just didn't have enough support and interest going into it. I didn't build enough of a community. Development of the game is going to continue. What I now lack in an operating budget, I'll have to make up for with sweat equity. I'll have to put a lot more work into it and have to get by without commissioning as much art and music as I had originally planned. This basically just means a streamlined project, and I can still fund what I need through my Patreon, which is what I use to support all of my projects. And, I did go ahead and mention that this was likely going to be the case to the Kickstarter supporters last night. And, since then, I've almost doubled my Patreon income from people who did convert from being Kickstarter supporters to monthly Patreon supporters. It still won't come anywhere near the budget that I was looking for, but, the project will continue, and that's the important thing, right? So, in addition to using less art and music assets, because I can do the pixel art, but I'm just really, really slow, I'm going to have to scope it down a little bit, which is a good thing, which I should have done from the beginning, because, scope creep is definitely a thing. But this way, I think the focus will be on the writing, which is my strength, and you should always, when developing games, develop to the strengths you have and the assets and your what you have going for. So I think that'll actually work out okay. I'm also looking at converting some of the Kickstarter rewards into Patreon benefits for those who are supporting me, and even though this isn't just for this game. For other games that I develop, I'll be able to do similar things as well. One thing I'm excited about doing is having exclusive content for my patrons. Stuff that doesn't increase my workload too much, but does add some extra options for the people who did support the game while it was being developed. For this particular project, for Zeitgeist 1980, there will be character creation options that get into a little bit of the more esoteric sort of character types that you see in 80s movies. So instead of starting the game as a member of a particular teen 80s clique, you can start with something a little more esoteric, like maybe you're secretly a robot, or something like kung fu, or you have a secret alien buddy who helps you out sometimes. Something that's very 80s themed, that boils down to more problem-solving solutions rather than an entirely new chapter I would have to write. So it's just, variations on the theme of what I was going to be doing anyway, as a thank you to my supporters. So I think that'll work out. Development will probably shift from Godot to Twine for two reasons. First of all, it's generally easier if I'm not going to have as many art assets and music assets. Might as well just do it in something that's geared entirely to text. But secondly, when I did have two free versions of Zeitgeist 1980 available to play, I had the original free Twine prototype that you could just play right in the browser, and I had the free Godot version that you had to download and then install on your own machine. And a lot more people played the former than the latter for fairly obvious reasons. You don't necessarily want to install something. You can just click something and then go right to that page and then play it. So I think because the key to fundraising through Patreon is going to be introducing people to the game and then saying, hey, if you enjoyed this, why don't you come support it and, get free benefits and bonuses, the more people playing it, the better. And I think that the barrier of entry to it in Twine is lower. if the Patreon support gets high enough and I have a big enough budget and I can actually afford to do the artistic things that I wanted to do, I'm perfectly willing to redevelop it in Godot. I already have the framework coded up and everything. It's just a matter of, copying the story over. So that would be relatively swift and painless. So, if you have been interested in the project, if you like the idea of Zeitgeist 1980, if you like interactive fiction games, or if you like 80s movies, or if you any of the stuff that I'm doing, go ahead and check out the Patreon. See if it's something that you personally would like to support and get some of those bonuses that I mentioned, and check the game out. See what you think. Let me know.